Welcome Taurus to your Mercury Cazimi deep dive video. Mercury, the planet of communication and precision, applies to the Sun in your sign in an exact conjunction on May the 14th. That's so precise, they're totally unified. Mercury in the disk of the Sun, the power and potency of the Sun magnifying Mercury's innate brilliance. I'm going to share what this means from a purely Taurus perspective. By the end of the video, you'll have a clear understanding of how you can work with this in terms of your finances, but also in terms of your work. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. We're going to get 6 Cazimis in 2026, but 3 of them are when Mercury is retrograde and 3 when direct. When direct, it's known as a superior conjunction. When retrograde, an inferior conjunction. Cast your mind back to March on the 7th. The Mercury Cazimi then was an inferior conjunction in retrograde in the water sign of Pisces, where Mercury really struggles. It's in detriment. If you experience some confusion around certain friendships, group situations, a long-term plan, or even your higher purpose, it really wouldn't be a surprise. You get an opportunity with this event, Taurus, to move much more into the moment, because essentially for you, Mercury and the Sun are in your first house, which has a kind of Aries dimension to it, taking action in a very direct way. But the complexity for you personally is that you still have a gathering of energy in the sign of Aries, which is quite psychological. So whilst these guys are very much asking you to be active now and be very nimble, very mercurial energies, you still need to be conscious of what you're targeting and what your motivations are. And it may be that some personal doubts could still be washing around in the back of your mind. So how do you work with this best of all? Well, if we look at the position of these two, the dynamic duo, they're in the third decan of your sign. Now, your sign is obviously very pragmatic. You like to see tangible outcomes. You may have had some brilliant ideas that have been bubbling around in the back of your mind, but this third decan is subruled by the steady eddy of the zodiac, Saturn. So it's asking you not to rush. The second thing is that Jupiter, the planet of hope, optimism, and expansion, and critically of good fortune in astrology, is exalted in the sign of Cancer, very much about how we feel about things. But for you, the third house of quick communication, very mercurial. So that's brilliant. Jupiter's linking back to both of them in a sextile, and ironically has forged exact sextiles just before this event. So you may have been feeling a build-up of positivity and traction, which is terrific. So it's saying to you, Jupiter, have belief and faith, very Jupiterian, in your individual ideas and how you're going to convey them to other people. It's critical that you really do trust what you're trying to do. Now, if there are some ideas that you've been mulling over in the back of your mind, just because you haven't launched them yet doesn't mean to say they're not valuable and won't work. And in fact, we have the Moon and Mars in a conjunction, and they're linking brilliantly to the part of fortune, which is in Leo. Another factor saying that if you listen to your instincts, the 12th house, and take action, very Mars in Aries, the sign it rules. The moon here can be a bit impetuous. Don't rush, but it may be that you're going to convert something you have had going around the back of your mind into something much more tangible. Furthermore, Uranus, newly arrived in the sign of Gemini, very much about quick communication and ideas, very Mercury-like. In the second house, very Taurus-like, is forging a fabulous link to Pluto, the planet of transformation right at the top of your chart. So if we go back to that last retrograde, which lasted about 21 days. But the whole process of a Mercury retrograde season is near to 10 weeks because we get the pre and post retrograde shadow. So it may be through March, particularly, and some of April, you really felt a little bit lost or a little bit demotivated or a little bit unsure of where you were heading. And you may still be emerging from that. But if you're really passionate, invested in an idea you have at the moment, I think this is the time to go foot to the floor. But further, let's look at Venus, your ruler, because she's in your second house, very much about that everyday money, which Taurus can be about, but in a fantastic link with Mars. So if there is that hunch you've got, but you've done your research, you've done your planning, you're not rushing into it blindly, the feel-good factor around this event is absolutely undoubted. So whether it is applying for a job, doing a presentation, uh, trying to talk to a line manager about some ideas you've got, or whether you're pitching for new business if you have your own enterprise, or you're wanting to make more from the resources you've got, I think there's a lot to like in this event for you. Now, I've slashed the price of my personal horoscopes. You can now order 3 and pay for the price of 1. The one you pay for is your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that have played out in our lives so far. Free, you get your 12 months transit forecast and your draconic soul karmic analysis. Please see below for more. I love natal astrology. I want to share that with you and help you to see, if you've yet to do so, how natal astrology can illuminate your path forwards. Now, you can also download my Mercury Cazimi factoid underneath this video too. If you've yet to watch your May monthly forecast, Taurus, that's on the screen. If you have yet to watch your Uranus 78-year Cazimi, that's on the screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to take advantage and sign up for your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please do so now. All the best and look forward to seeing you again soon.